Business Brain, episode 758 for Wednesday, June 3rd, National Tailors Day 2026.
Welcome back. A tailor. Who's going to a tailor?
You know what? Let's talk about this in the show. I have a question. I have something to say about this.
Okay. I mean, I get it when you have to get a tux or whatever, some special event, and you need to buy a suit. But I started my first business, so I'd never have to wear a suit. Oh, that's great.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show by, for, and about entrepreneurs, where we dissect a topic or three so that we can continue to level up our charmed lives. Our sponsors for this episode include oneskin.co/brain, where you can get 15% off of OneSkin and all other products with the code BRAIN, and also bitdefender.com/brain, where you can save 30% on Bitdefender Ultimate Small Business Security. We'll talk about both of those in a little bit. For now, here in the New Hampshire Seacoast, I'm Dave Hamilton.
Oh, that's a new one. I like that. Yeah. Here in sunny, beautiful Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. Hey, that OneSkin stuff is pretty amazing, I have to tell you.
I've
been using that, and my wife was like, you need some eye cream. Because I was like,
I did an experiment with that. I'll share in a little bit.
It's cool.
I got something to share.
It's pretty impressive.
It is pretty impressive. Yeah. But let's talk about tailors, because I when I realized it was National Tailors Day, I put it on the list for a reason, because I was like, I bet we're both like thinking the same thing. Who goes to a tailor? I was recently at a tailor because my daughter's getting married, and
congratulations.
Thanks. Awesome. I'm renting a tuxedo because that's how it works. Now, first of all, the whole tuxedo rental thing, I really should have just bought a tuxedo.
I think you probably, especially this day and age where you can find the deals. I think that's probably true.
Yeah, I think I paid.
Would you wear it?
That's the thing is, like, is my son going to get married at some point? Probably, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's a hedge.
True.
Because I think I paid like $250, just shy of $250. It was like $230 or something for a tux, and then like I think I could buy one for less than $1,000. Like it would be fine. And so, I got to wear it 3 times to make it worth my while. And will I have a gig where I need to wear a tux?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
If so, not only does it pay for itself,
you can write it off.
Write-off. You got that right.
You need to plan that gig, actually.
I do need to plan that gig. Yeah. But like, I think it's realistic that I might need to wear a tuxedo 3 more times in my life from this point onward. And so I really should have bought one, but I didn't, because it's just was how things went,
Yeah.
And but the whole concept of tailors, like, talk about a business that is like, I think it's got to be on its way out, or at least evolving. Like,
how many tailors are there in your town?
None.
Yeah,
I don't know where I would go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we did find one. My wife needed some stuff done, but it is interesting. It's I feel like it's
cobblers too, right?
Cobblers too.
Do you get a pair of shoes fixed, or you just buy a new pair of shoes? Like,
buy a new pair of shoes.
The cost of human labor right now in this country, like if I could send it off to somewhere else where labor is cheaper and all that stuff, but now I'm paying shipping and like all this stuff, it's not going to actually be worth it in the end. But here, I mean, somebody's got to get, to have a storefront and like all of that stuff. They got to charge you, a minimum of $100 an hour, I would think.
Yeah, but it is interesting with, like, Gary Vee made this comment. I think I've said it here before. He said, "Hey, in the age where we're going to be living like the Jetsons, you want to be like the Flintstones and create something that has connection and this kind of thing." And it reminds me of, there's a lot of barbershops now that are kind of retro barbershop where you go in, it's old school, you can get a beer, you hang out, do your thing, and they're trying to, have this great experience. I go to one that's really good.
It's the experience. That's what we were paying for, is experiences. Yeah.
So maybe the tailor thing has to be, hey, like, I don't like buying clothes at all. And it would be interesting to have hey, you pick out, I don't know, there's our companies doing this, right? Where they'll help you with your clothing and all that kind of stuff. And then,
but a lot of that now is being done online. You take a picture of yourself with your phone and then it puts the clothes on you. And it, like, I've used some of those. They work great.
Yeah, it does work great. It is interesting. And the free return stuff where you can buy stuff at Amazon Wardrobe or whatever they call it. Yeah. Where you can buy like you get like 5 pairs of shoes and you send back whatever ones you don't want.
Send back 4. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. However many you don't want. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's interesting seeing these businesses that just don't, they don't quite have a place.
I'll tell you, it's kind of an interesting correlation. So I grew up in this town called Walnut Creek, which has grown like insane, right? There's Tiffany's and an Apple store. It was nothing when I used to ride my bike downtown as a kid, that kind of stuff. And one day I used to get my hair cut at this barber that was right downtown. And I struck up a conversation with this guy. He kind of became a friend. We talked a lot. I did a deal when I was in the TV business. I traded him some TVs for like a year's worth of haircuts, right?
Nice.
We did a barter thing. Yeah, of course. And we got to talking and I was like, Alan, how do you afford to be like, he's literally a block from Tiffany's, right? But there's a lot of these small little places downtown. And he said something that really shocked me. He said, the city pays half my rent.
Oh, what? Oh, to keep the charm or whatever. It's part of the charmed life, town. Right?
Yes. And I was like, holy smokes, that makes total sense because this one section of downtown is still full of small, I think there might be a cobbler. There's like a family jewelry store. There is this bar shop. There's a little clothing stores, and I'm like, how do you guys?
They didn't name the store the Family Jewels, did they?
No, that would be good.
Okay,
though.
That's a
missed
good
opportunity.
That's a total missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity. So that totally makes sense that the city is subsidizing to keep these lifestyle businesses open, which it's pretty commendable.
It's fascinating. Well, I mean, and let's be very clear: when the city does this, that's you and me, right? Mm-hmm. We fund that.
Using our tax dollars.
In this case, it's you because I don't live over there. But you know, if you want, if that kind of small town charm is the kind of thing that's important to you for your charmed life, which is a big picture, then that's okay to pay for. Like I'm not against this. I kind of like. What an interesting.
Yeah, it's cool
but it is good to know that like. You are subsidizing this. You're either subsidizing it by paying the cobbler, $250 an hour for their time, or you can pay them $75 an hour for their time and then have the rest come out the back end.
Yes,
that's either way, whatever you like.
I don't think every time I mention this to people, they're shocked. It's not like it's a known, maybe at some city council meeting.
If you go pay attention, you'd know.
I'm sure you'd know. But I thought that was okay. This is kind of cool because the other part of the downtown, which is developed into, there's an Apple store, Tiffany's, a bunch of big it's kind of soulless, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to go hang out, walk around. But downtown, a little further down, old downtown, lots of people walk up and down the street. Tons of restaurants, ice cream places, all the stuff, and it's prime real estate. And so I think they're like, okay, but let's protect this.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool for small business owners,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to think about it from the standpoint of the townspeople, right? I mean, it's a wonderful kind of serendipitous thing for the business owners, but this is not about the business owners. They're not trying to save the small businesses. You as a town are choosing
experience.
And here we are again. Well, I mean, where did this conversation start? We said really all we pay for these days is experiences. And that's
a good point.
That's what we've described.
Yeah.
We're paying for experiences.
Yeah. There's a couple of one guy, Dave Chappelle, another guy who wrote all those Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. Yeah. They sold like 300 million copies, and Dave Chappelle's very wealthy from his shows, comedy and all that stuff. Yeah. Chappelle basically bought a town in Ohio. He owns he's bought these buildings as the downtown has kind of become dilapidated. So he like, oh, well, let's build this and I'll buy that building and we'll build a club. I'll buy this and we'll build this. So he's become the major owner of this city where he's at. And the Diary of a Wimpy Kid author, same thing. He's like, hey, I love this area. Let's buy, I want to build a bookstore. And I want to be able to invite authors to come do book signings from the middle of nowhere. And I think he's invested, like tens of millions of dollars into buying up, spots in these towns. So it's kind of cool to protect. If you want to protect it, you got to come up with a way to do it, or else it's just going to be strip malls and high end stores.
Right. Like this is, it's an interesting. This is fascinating to me. We live in a capitalist society, which means money is the currency.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But that's
competitive.
It's competitive, right?
Best business wins. Everybody else goes out of business.
And that's it's survival of the fittest and all of that stuff. But what's interesting about this is and again, it's the subsets of we that make up all our different little towns. Some subsets of we are deciding that the winners aren't always the businesses that make the most money.
Yeah.
We are choosing winners as opposed to letting sort of the natural progression of things choose winners.
Yeah.
And I love that we have the freedom to choose to do that. Like that, it's
and if you don't like it,
everywhere.
Go down and talk to your city and right above the barbershop I was talking about downtown. There's like a ballet studio for little kids, so that brings lots of parents downtown, and they're there. And then I'm sure they go shop, and there's all kinds of interesting things. So it's pretty fascinating. But if you ever get a chance to walk downtown Walnut Creek, you'll get to see what I'm talking about. If you live in a town that has some kind of system like this that's protecting those experiences, we'd love to hear from you. Maybe you have a business there. feedback@businessbrain.show. Let us know what you think of it.
Like he said, feedback@businessbrain.show. We've got other things to talk about. I don't really know what they are because the agenda's all upside down now, and I love that.
Me too.
So I'm looking forward to finding out what it is we talk about after we tell you about this week's sponsors. All right, look, we're entrepreneurs, and we obsess over optimizing everything, our systems, our schedules, our tools. But sometimes between the late nights and the early mornings, we forget to optimize the face that we are showing the world. That's part of the charmed life that nobody really talks about. I've been using our sponsor OneSkin's Face and Eye for 6 weeks now. And here's something wild. I actually ran my before and after photos through an AI comparison tool. I fed it in and, asked it to compare, and I gave it a bunch of different pictures from the same spot. Measurable improvement, smoother forehead, more even skin texture, less puff under my eyes in 6 weeks. Here's why it works. OneSkin was founded by longevity researchers who asked a genuinely nerdy question. What if instead of covering up aging skin, you could switch off the damaged cells actually causing it? That led to OS1, their proprietary peptide, the first ingredient proven to reduce those senescent cells and slow skin aging at the source. It fits right into whatever you're already doing, backed by 4 peer-reviewed clinical studies and over 10,000 5-star reviews. Born from over a decade of longevity research, OneSkin's OS1 peptide is proven to target the visible signs of aging, helping you unlock your healthiest skin now and as you age. For a limited time, try OneSkin with 15% off using code BRAIN at oneskin.co/brain. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BRAIN. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please, of course, support Business Brain and let them know that we sent you. Try it out. I think you're going to like it. I certainly do. And our thanks to OneSkin for sponsoring this episode. And every entrepreneur I know has a story, right? We all do. A client relationship they spent years building, a contract that finally came through, a reputation they'd protect with everything they've got. That's part of the charmed life, right? And it's also exactly what cyber criminals are targeting. Here's the scam I keep hearing about. Somebody gets a text that looks like it's from their bank, clicks a verify your account link, and hands over their login credentials without even realizing it. Next morning, they're locked out of their own business accounts. It happens faster than you'd think. And that's why Bitdefender, our sponsor, stands out to me. Bitdefender is a global leader in cybersecurity, and their ultimate small business security is built specifically for businesses with 25 or fewer employees, people like us who don't have an IT team on speed dial. You get AI-powered scam and fraud protection trained on small business-specific tricks, dark web and identity monitoring, password management, unlimited VPN, and one centralized dashboard to manage the whole team. It's so thorough that my Wi-Fi router sent Bitdefender a thank you note. Keep your small business safe with Bitdefender Ultimate Small Business Security and save 30% when you go to bitdefender.com/brain. That's bitdefender.com/brain for 30% off. Check it out. I think you're going to like it. And our thanks to Bitdefender for sponsoring this episode. Shannon, we got an email.
Cool.
It came in. I'm going to say it. It came in while we were recording the episode. That doesn't have to be true, but it sounds great. It's from listener Ian, and he had a couple of things to say. One, I'll start with last week we screwed up. We published many of you pointed this out to us, Ian, among you, that when you got Wednesday's episode, you pressed play and you heard the Friday Eye episode.
Yep.
And then when you went to play Friday Eye, you also got the Friday Eye episode. Because of the way some podcast clients work. We got an email from one of you very quickly on Wednesday that this problem had happened. It was a screw up. This one was on me. I put the same file name in for both. So we published the Wednesday episode, and then Friday's episode got published and overwrote it because that's just how the system works. Yep.
Yes.
So we quickly republished Wednesday with a different name, so we weren't playing chicken and egg, and everything is good. If you go back and play Wednesday now, if you force a refresh in your podcast client, it would be there. And many of you kind of went and did that and figured it out. But
cool.
But that was on us, and so thank you for letting us know. Ian had lots of things to say. One was about our intro music. He says, I remember the discussion when you introduced the new song, and I like the track. Lately, though, he says, the combination of conversation happening over music with lyrics can be a little difficult to follow as a listener. I find myself trying to listen to both at the same time, and neither gets my full attention. I noticed the music volume has come down recently, which helped, but it also made me wonder whether the music is adding as much value as it could. No strong recommendation here, just sharing what I'm hearing as a regular listener. So there's other things he said, but I want to talk about this because I've noticed it too. Like we never used to talk over the intro music, and now that there's lyrics, the conversation just starts.
That's interesting.
And I you know what I
bad.
Think?
I think I do it because I feel like it's a little long, and I don't know what to do with myself while it's playing.
It is long. Like, let's look. This song is 28 seconds, and the previous intro was 14. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just one of these people that I wish I wasn't like this, but I'm filling the silence with words.
Yeah. But we start talking right away. I don't think it's just that. It's because we had 14 seconds of silence before, and occasionally we would say something. But now it's like 100% of the time we hear "Welcome back," and now we're just like
talking. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe we should stop it at "Welcome back," or maybe we don't even need it all. I don't think it adds. I don't think it's additive to this show at all.
I agree. Yeah.
It wouldn't matter. I think we could just stop. We could just start. It wouldn't matter to me. I like the song. I think it's cool. It kind of gets me going.
Same.
So or we just have to shut up for 28 seconds or cut it shorter. I don't know.
Or have music that says "Welcome back" and nothing else, and then and then we can talk while the music sort of fades through. I don't know. Yeah.
Let's try it. I'm cool with that.
It's interesting. Yeah,
it is interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
So, all right, let me see. There was he had a lot of comments about our business blueprints. Did you look at these, Shannon? Did you see this?
I saw your comment. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Okay.
I saw in Slack you mentioned it, I think.
And I love these comments. But there's it's we are using AI to generate this from the transcript of the show. And there's some edit notes that Ian made. The AI is not alone in referring to you as she, her.
Oh, I can't break it.
Right.
I'm misgendered by every AI out there.
Of course you are. Right. Yeah. I guess if there was one that was maybe trained on Irish data, like predominantly, maybe.
I think we have to. What you have to do is it has to be part of the prompt every time.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's all you have to do it. Because when I was doing it before to create intros, it would always, I had to tell it every time, use we, not, or whatever. Right. So we probably need to add that to the prompt.
To the prompt. Yeah. So thank you, Ian. And everybody who wrote in it. Like it's very much appreciated. And we love the feedback at businessbrain.show. And I mean that as an email address and also as a concept, because we love feedback here at businessbrain.show. Yeah. But the email address isn't feedback here. It could be, but it's not. It's feedback at businessbrain.show. Yeah. All right. I think that gets us through. That's all the time we have today, folks. So,
that's it.
Yeah. Thanks
Get
for
you in
hanging
and
out.
quick.
Hey, I do have a question, though. What is this episode's big takeaway, Shannon?
I would say the big takeaway are think about your business and how you make the experience special and unique.
Yes.
Instead of just always the product. It doesn't matter if you're an HVAC person or an accountant or whatever. What experience is or are, whatever the grammar is, your client's looking for?
So this is interesting. We've said every business is in the customer service business, and I believe that's true. And we've said more recently, every business is in the content business, and I believe that's true. I think we could probably find exceptions to that rule.
Probably.
But I don't know that it's every, but prove that you are not is where I would start with that, because I think most businesses are in the content business. And now we are saying every business is in the experience business.
Yeah, I think that's powerful, man. That's the takeaway for me, because you have to put yourself in your buyers, your clients, whatever, and the experience from buying from you online and shipping and tracking and getting it and opening the box. What experience are they going to have? And like this downtown, if you're a local business, what experience are your people coming into?
I like it. Yeah, I like it. That's it. All right. Thanks for hanging out, folks. We will tell the band to take us on our way, and keep living that charmed life. We'll see you on Friday.